So one of the things they'll do is they'll mess up the logical flow of ideas in that paragraph so that nobody can follow it.
Okay. So if I were a chemistry faculty member, I would be a little worried about allowing the students to peer review and peer grade, maybe the only writing assignment I have time to give them in the class. Would you feel that way?
I've never been a chemistry professor, but I would use a mathematical formula. I would think the same thing would work. It's the concept that's key here. That is, I can learn how to think logically by doing the opposite. So I think you could do it with a chemical formula or a calculation. You could apply the same concept. Because
but would you have the faith that the students would give each other fair grades?
The timing is, the students are often much tougher than I am.
I agree.
It's the timing that counts. That is, I cannot give this assignment until I feel that they're ready for it, that they have developed, they're critical enough that they can actually critique one another's work. If I were to give it in the beginning of the semester, it would be wasted because they wouldn't have developed the skills yet. But it's a nice crowning achievement. It kind of pulls all the lessons together. So
like a capstone.
It's a capstone. Well put.
And I used to use that. And what I would do, because I was teaching web design, technology, instructional technology, in my capstone project, which is writing, you can divide them up in groups with their rubrics. And they can read to one another, exchange, talk about it. They're checking off and circling. And just great conversation. And you can walk around and look at it. So when they are ready to turn in their capstone, they put their suggested grade. And then here you can go down and look at their comments, read their papers, and it focuses you. It's just not a mishmash.
So potentially the faculty member could look at the rubric score sheet as opposed to the original piece of work to get a sense as to whether it was graded.
I don't
before they read it. I mean, the faculty, you're going to have, you want to read it. That's how you learn as faculty. You learn from your students'
It's true.
papers.
I don't actually let them grade. I de-emphasize grades. So I'm a very tough grader. I wish there were no grades. I focus on the critique. So what I look at, how deeply have they critiqued the work? How many of the guideline principles have they been able to apply, which in essence is a rubric? And I would imagine you could use it in writing. If I was writing a paper about quantum physics to explain in layman's language, you could look at it. Has the writer touched all the key concepts, and have they explained them in a way that they link together so that a reader can follow? It shows whether you understand how the pieces build together to make the whole.
The connection between ideas.
Yeah, exactly. So you could, in that way, I think you could use it.
So it seems like rubrics are very key to this. Where would faculty get help, Nancy, with developing rubrics?
Well, I have had particularly online faculty come to me, and I have shown them some of the rubrics that I've used successfully, and there are rubric builders and models that are online or in textbooks that I can show them, but I do have a template.
Right.
And sit and brainstorm with me about, what is it that we want them to understand and come away with and reflect on to the next level.
Okay, great. Charles and Nancy, thank you very much for being on the show today.
My pleasure.
Okay. If you have further questions for either Charles or Nancy, you can post them on the TLT website at tlt.stonybrook.edu, where you'll also find the direct contact information for both of today's guests. I'm Graham Glynn. I hope to see you on the next Exciting Innovations in Education show. Thank you.